Yankee and the Brit. Yes, Yankee and the Brit.
One is a genius, the
Other's a twit. On the radio, the genes have been spliced. The Yankee and the Brit. Yankee and the Brit in the RTM Radio Network, 8 p.m. Saturday night, country night. Joshua Stanley joining us on the phone.
Say
Mr.
hello,
Joshua Stanley.
Hey, y'all, how's it going?
Hey.
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing wonderful. I just got back from vacation. Kind of getting back in the swing of things in normal life. But
Where you been?
Been anywhere exciting?
Went down to Gulf Shores, Alabama for about a week and then headed over to New Orleans for a little bit and came back up here. So
Awesome.
Oh, awesome, yes.
Did you go swimming for
Much
jellyfish?
I didn't get any jellyfish while I was down there. They did have some hazard signs up for the water, but it wasn't. I didn't see anything while I was down there. So
And no sharks, obviously.
no sharks.
Other than a few land sharks, probably.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
We're all right. We was just playing your Red Lights song. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, that's been a really cool song, and it's opened a lot of doors for me lately. I went down and wrote that song with Jennifer Aiden down in Nashville, and she was one of the co-writers on Blake Shelton's song "She Wouldn't Be Gone." And then my friend Danny Heflin also wrote that song with me, and we got in a room and we wrote that in probably just a couple hours. But yeah, it was kind of a song that I had a concept. I already wrote the hook for it, and we got in the room and everybody just felt like drawn to that one. So we sat down and worked it out, and just turned out being something really cool that all of us felt really good about. And so we went ahead and cut it with my producer, John Donosky, and it's been a really cool song, and it's actually opened a lot of doors. So we're really excited about it. I just got a new video I'm going to be releasing on the song coming up really soon. I just got it back as soon as I got back from my trip yesterday. So.
Oh, you'll have to let us know when that comes out, because we will want to watch it, won't we?
Oh, yes, sir. Where did you record that at?
I recorded at Toy Box Studios, and it's in Royalton, Illinois. And the guy the producer I work with, has done a lot of work for a lot of bigger artists. I think Jake Owen and Kelly Clarkson and Ingrid Michaelson, a whole bunch of people. He's really worked on some really cool projects. So I actually just kind of lucked out getting to know him. We played some shows together in the past at Hard Rock Cafe, and ended up becoming friends. And so I just have always worked with him on my music.
Talking about your video, how'd you like doing that? The cameras bother you or anything?
You know, I never had done it before, so it was definitely a different feel for me. I'm definitely more comfortable behind a guitar than I am in front of a camera, but it turned out to be really, really cool. And the people I worked with were so talented and creative that they made it really fun and easy. A friend of mine, Michelle, and actually my lead guitar player helped direct the video. His name's Steven Danner. So
what do you do?
We had a good time. We shot it in about a day.
What do you do? Do you just pretty much just trying to figure out how to put it? You just be yourself, and they just use what looks good when they're done. How does that work?
Yeah, they kind of just told me to perform, because it's more of a lyric video, so it's not like a really in-depth music video. But yeah, it was kind of just perform like you normally would, but it was more telling you to do more exaggerated movements, just I guess to look more appealing on camera. So yeah, I kind of just was a puppet, and I said, you guys tell me what to do and I'll do it. And so probably I had to take a couple shots of whiskey to get me going. But
if someone told me to just relax and perform like I normally would, I'd sit back on my chair, stick my legs up in the air, and I'd and I'd just sit there and pretend to be enjoying myself.
So you did some. So they had you doing some Dwight Yoakam moves or something. Some Elvis, shake that leg, baby, make it look good.
Yeah, I posted some of the little clips from on Instagram. So if you ever want to see that, you can check it out. It's at JS Country on Instagram. Yeah, they just kind of. I think we only did 2 or 3 takes for what we were doing, and we ended up getting what we wanted out of it. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more of those coming up really soon.
You'll get to hire some pretty. You'll get to hire some pretty girls and have them in shorts and cowboy boots. Oh, you're going to go crazy.
Oh man, yeah. It's Donna's birthday, right?
Are you married?
It was on Wednesday. Are you going to sing to me?
Oh, on Wednesday. Okay. Well, happy birthday. I remembered that. I was like, I know it's their birthday coming up. Yeah. No, I'm not married, by the way. I have a girlfriend, Alex. She went on my vacation with me. But
Oh.
yeah, I'm not married.
There might be some issues with that video shooting in the future then.
Yeah, she could probably be in it.
There you go.
She's pretty cool. Yeah, she did some performing herself. She was a figure skater growing up, so
That'll
really cool girl.
wow. That'll smooth. Oh, she wear one of those
Yeah.
short little skirts and all that.
No comment.
That's what drew you to her was those legs, wasn't it? I know how that works.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that'll make it easier. You got all the excuses you need already. You know, well, hey, you were in the video. You can't be mad at me for hanging out with these people after the shoot. I mean, we were just having fun. So what about some of these other tunes? Who do you write all your own stuff, or do you co-write, or do you have a writer?
Yeah, so this song, I think Red Lights might have been my first co-write. Like the first song I ever co-wrote and actually went and cut. I've co-wrote a few other ones. The introduction to Danny being a part of my band, he plays bass for me. He was a Nashville guy. He's originally from Missouri, but he moved to Nashville, and then I think when he was like 18 and lived there for like 6 or 7 years. So he made a lot of network connections, and he kind of introduced me to the co-writes because I was so particular about my work being my work, and just kind of showed me the benefit of that. And so yeah, most of the songs on my EP that I'm getting ready to release, I wrote by myself.
When are you releasing your
but
EP?
May 27th. I'm doing an EP release show here at Cicero's in St. Louis.
Because Rod
And
Peg is
then-
asking in the chat room.
Oh, okay, yeah. May 27th. And then I'll have it online as well, available for people. You can get 2 of the songs currently on my website, though. Come on over tonight, and then Red Lights are both up there for people to grab. But there'll be 3 additional songs, including Best Beer, which I think you guys have, and then a song called Sleep, and then a song called What You Do. So those will be on there, and then I'm really ready to go cut another one, which is crazy to me, but yeah. So that one's actually been done for a while. I just was kind of waiting to release it and kind of decide when the right time would be. And nowadays, it just seems smarter to put one song out at a time, so people have more to kind of chew on.
Yeah, try not to shove too much down their throats at a time, or people lose track of.
Yeah,
what's
kind of
going
let them
on.
enjoy one thing at a time, and
Yeah.
kind of let it run its course, and then put something new out for them. So
Well, let's go back.
Just trying to-
Let's go back just a little bit here.
Yeah, what did you listen to
oh,
when you were
shut-
young
I'm talking
and in
over here.
short trousers?
Hey, my turn. Leave his trousers alone a minute. What? It's like this all the time over here. What? How long you been in music? When did you start? When you were young, or?
You're asking me
Oh,
a
man.
question.
But it's my question now, not yours. Stay out of this.
So my mom says that I was, even as a little kid, always like just gravitated towards it. She had a really good friend that was in charge of the St. Louis Symphony, and I guess when I was little, she'd say, "Oh, he's going to be a musician for sure," because I guess I'd walk around making little like noises, like I don't know if I was beatboxing or what I was doing, but I was always gravitated towards that. And my dad at I want to say I was like 7 when he started teaching me piano, and then I think 4th or 5th grade I started playing trumpet. Did that for a few years, and then junior high I started playing drums. I guess I've been a musician my whole life. My grandpa is a country western singer, and he's in his 80s now. He still performs live.
Cool.
And he does more like 50s country, yeah. And then my dad played in some country bands as well as some rock and roll bands. So
Now, do you play
out of all
guitar?
my siblings- Yeah, I play guitar. I play drums. I played drums for I think 7 or 8 years at some different churches, and then kind of learned guitar I started learning guitar when I was 16, but it was never anything that I really wanted to do more than just to learn to write. And I think as I've developed as an artist, I've definitely focused more on getting more proficient at it, and so I've come a long way on that. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I've really dove into like every aspect of music. I used to have a studio, and I would produce music for people, and so kind of have hit it from all angles, but songwriting has really been the thing that I think I just like gravitated towards naturally. Just something that I love to do, and it's kind of been my outlet as well as just something that I really, really enjoy, and kind of opened the doors to everything musically for me. I wrote my first song at 16, and I got a one-off publishing deal for a song I wrote in 2014, and just kind of went from there, and I just realized that's really what I want to do. So.
Which girl did you write your first song for so you could snag her?
You're going to get me in trouble.
Very tested to get you in trouble tonight.
Hey, your past should not get you in trouble.
You don't have to answer that question.
What was.
16, and I remember it vividly. My dad had taught me how to play American Woman. He taught me the chords for that. And that was kind of my first crash course on how to play guitar. He is a phenomenal guitar player. So I always played drums so we could jam together. But yeah, I remember writing this. It was a girl that I was dating at the... Well, I wasn't even dating her. Honestly, I was kind of trying to figure out if we were going to be together. And I was in high school and just kind of sappy. So I wrote the song, When Will She Be Mine? But it actually... funny that you asked that because we're getting ready to probably cut that song now, which, I mean, that's what, 15 years later. So, yeah, we're getting ready to cut it again because my band is such a big fan of it, and it goes over really well when we play it live. So, yeah, so that was the first one I wrote. It was about a girl named Lene. Story was her last name, I believe. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for mentioning her. But, but yeah.
I know how that works. See, that's... I knew there was a girl involved somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I write from very real experiences. A lot of times either my own or stuff my friends have told me. It's very rarely I just write something that's, off the wall. But yeah, usually it's from some experience or story someone told me or just like a perspective that I have on something that maybe I thought was unique. You
think maybe in the future you may end up just being a writer and gravitate away from actually performing?
I love to perform. If you had to stop me right now and say, okay, you can take this path or this path, I would definitely go the path of a writer. I think that performing is a lot of fun, but I could live without that. Where I don't think life would be the same for me if I didn't write. So, yeah, I think that writing, I think I could do it forever, and I think that and be relevant, and that kind of excites me. And there's so much stuff out there to talk about and to write about that. I think that that's really what I think lights my fire as an artist. But performing is a lot of fun, and I really love doing it. So, well,
maybe if you're lucky, you'll end up like Grandpa, and you'll still be able to get up on the stage when you're that age instead of having to stay home in your wheelchair and write songs.
About his girlfriend.
Huh?
I says, not if you keep dropping him in it about his girlfriend. She's going to punch him up the throat and clip him round the ear hole.
No, she's so cool. Yeah, she's got a couple written about her too. So they're just a lot. Yeah, it's just part of it, and I think like going into it, she knows, like yeah, that's just how I tick. So there hasn't been any issues about that.
But when we get done with you, you'll know if she's cool or not. I'm sorry sorry there, Mrs. Whoever you are.
yeah, she's cool. But yeah, it's interesting the way life takes you. Like I was always. It took me a long time to figure it out. Like I knew I loved doing music, but I was a pretty good athlete, and all my brothers. I'm the only child in my family out of 5 that actually has any musical ability. And so, and I had, in 3rd grade, they came in and they did this random test on all the students to see if to see if you're some kind of like musical prodigy or something. And they told me that I shouldn't even, attempt to pursue music too much.
Really?
Yeah, and it's so funny, like to look at that and to laugh at it kind of later on to see all the things that I've gotten to done or gotten to do and the opportunities I've gotten. To think if I would have let that define me as an artist, that would have been awful. So it's kind of funny now though, looking back at it. It's like, man, I remember my dad was like, "Is this what you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." So I mean, it definitely drove me to stick with it. I think more than it did deter me from it. But every instrument I played, I pretty much taught myself, and so I think they were wrong.
I think it's great.
But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what you got to do is prove them wrong. It's like, hey, you can't tell me I can't do this. I'll show you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's something I look back and I'm like, man, you just never know. You got to be careful who you let near your dream. And obviously at that age, I wouldn't know any better. But now looking back and I'm like, man, you got to guard that and do what you really love no matter what,
Right.
Rod Pegg in the chat room says he always likes listening to how Joshua and the other guys get started in music. And it is interesting because, some people were inspired by their family, by their, music that they listened to when they were younger. Different experiences in life, so it's always interesting to see where this all come from. What did you like to listen to when you were young?
Oh my gosh! So my parents, it's really funny to me to look at it from like kind of stepping back and viewing. My parents are really religious, and so I was raised in the church, and I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music at all. But my dad was, my grandpa was playing, 40s and 50s country, and my dad grew up playing like rock, like we're talking like Leonard Skinner and all the great bands from the 60s and 70s and 80s, and I wasn't allowed to listen to that stuff. And so I grew up listening to church music and kind of thinking that was the only thing that was out there. And then I think that I just went to the complete opposite end. I started listening to like hip hop, like Dr. Dre and stuff like that when I was old enough. Like my sister turned 16th grade, and so we would go driving around listening to whatever was on the radio at the time. And I think I kind of got into hip hop a little bit at that time, and then it was right at the heart of when like country like kind of revived and was like the big thing, like George Strait and all those guys. So I was like listening to Dr. Dre and George Strait, and that was my music and Alan Jackson, and then kind of as time went on, I really started in love with John Mayer when he came out, and like I mean that's been like one of my biggest idols as a writer for the longest time. Our styles obviously totally different, but I mean I'm so multifaceted in what I listen to. But the people that really kind of I think shaped me were probably George Strait and some hip hop influence, and then people like John Mayer. So I got fully vetted by a couple of the big record labels, and they did these full write-ups on me, and a lot of comparison to like Old Dominion or Sam Hunt and people like that, and kind of called me like more of a blues country artist, and with a little bit of an R&B vibe. So I think you can tell that in my music, but I don't know. I feel like I don't try to sound like anyone, but I've definitely been shaped by those genres.
Now you're signed up with BMI, is it?
Yeah, that's right. I do all my royalties license. I had to sign up with them for my royalties on the song that I got published. Which if you guys ever want to hear something like totally abstract that I wrote, go to iTunes and check out a band called Crow Village, because it's like ambient rock. Like you'll never think that it was something I wrote, but yeah, I did that, and then they actually wanted to move me to LA and start a band, around me, and it ended up falling through. I didn't feel right. It just wasn't really what I wanted to do. And then a guy that is my manager, his name's Jason Whittington. He has kind of helped me along the way, and the whole thing happened. I pitched my song to a radio or to a TV show on, I think it was CW Network. I don't remember exactly which show it was. I was sending it to quite a few, and he got back with me by email, and I just thought he was a nobody. He mentioned, he was like, hey, I really like this song. I'd love to talk to you more. I don't know if we can get it on this season. He was like the music supervisor for the show. And he's like, I don't know if I can get it on this season, but maybe next season if the network picks the show back up. But I'd love to talk to you about the song because I love it. And I just thought like this is like the guy that fields the emails that the big guys don't want to talk to, just kind of gets rid of the people that are annoying.
And this was a good guy.
So I literally wrote him. I feel so embarrassed now looking back at it, but like I wrote him an email back, and it was just hey, thanks, and here's my phone number. Like he was nobody, and I was like, he called me, he's like, hey, my name's Jason, and he kind of went through this whole spiel. He's like, I know you don't know me from Adam, and you went down his list. He was the VP of distribution at Geffen Records. And he worked with Nirvana and Guns N' Roses, all these people. And he just, like, I literally got goosebumps. I was like, man, I'm such an idiot.
See, you never know.
You just get jaded by the music business.
Somehow you're slumming it with the Yankee and the Brit. How did that happen?
Again, that was another, you guys were kind of an accident too. I mean, I'm so grateful that these accidents keep happening, and maybe it's just destiny, I don't know. But
we're always an accident waiting to happen, that's for sure.
I keep stumbling into people that are amazing people that I just get totally humbled to even say I know these people. So he ended up, like, telling me all this stuff about him, and he's like, you know, we talked about, you know, I actually started cutting an album for this Crow Village project, and it just wasn't me. And I think at the end of the day, you got to be true to yourself. And I told him, you know, this is not really what I want to do. I was like, I really want to I want to write country music. And I was in a southern rock band at the time, but they didn't want to do country music either. And I finally decided that it was too much resistance, and I wanted to do my own thing if I was going to do it at all anymore. Because I was kind of on the verge of just calling it quits and being like, you know what, it's too much. And he really bought into me, and was like, you know, Josh, listen, anything that you're a part of, I want to be a part of that. So you tell me what you want to do. And I, you know, told him and started cutting this project. And it's been, I guess, a couple of years in the works. But I've been grinding in the music scene for probably 8 or 9 years. So it's been a long time, and you know, you get these little tidbits of hope here and there where people are like, oh yeah, you know, the little doors open here and there, and you just got to kind of do everything you can with them at the time and run with them. And so I feel like I'm kind of at like one of those spots right now, because the door opened with you guys, and then I got the clothing endorsement. This is all in like the last month or two, the clothing endorsement, and then now I've been on 2 radio stations, FM stations, one in Nebraska, one in Litchfield, Illinois, and I'm going to be on one in Georgia next month. So I'm like, man, I don't know what's happening here, but it's just all kind of baby steps, and it just seems like things keep opening up a little bit at a time.
Maybe it's your time.
I'm really grateful. I try not to get ahead of myself and be like, oh yeah, this is it, you know, because I get so nervous. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to. Where do I get my hopes up? So I'm just doing as much with it as I can right now, and kind of, you know, one step at a time, one little thing at a time, and just kind of living in that moment and being really grateful.
What do you think about these the men and women artists that I don't think there's any kind way to say it, that get sucked into the music industry by, you know, Nashville and all these other big places, and they go along with, they do whatever they're told, thinking they're going to be something, you know. I mean, you know, obviously you stand up for yourself. You stood up for your rights to do what you want to do and be who you want to be, and that's, you know, I think everybody should do that. If you don't like something, don't do it. But what do you think about these people that give in and go with the flow?
Because sometimes they want it so bad, though, don't they? And they pay money into it, they invest themselves into it, and then sometimes it mounts to nothing, you know?
It's never been about money for me. So I think that's I've got a lot more into my project than I do coming out of it, you know, currently. But I feel like it's tempting. You know, it's tempting when somebody, you know, offers you the world, that you got to sell out and you got to be whatever they want you to be. You know, they're you know, there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with Nashville as far as, like, I think they're business people just like any other business. But for an artist, I think especially if you've been grinding for a long time, there's guys that have been putting in more than I have for a long time, a lot longer than me, and I could see you get that chance for a break. But at the end of the day, for me, it kind of came down to, like, I could do something else and maybe pull it off. But I think people are smarter than that. Like, I think people know the real thing when they see it, and I think that that's what I've always wanted to be, either as a songwriter or as an artist. Like, I've always wanted to be the real deal, and not be anybody else, and kind of have my own thing in my own lane that I'm in. Where at the end of the day, I can feel like, man, people are connecting with what I'm doing legitimately, and not just what somebody's telling me to do, or like all these songs that somebody else told me to sing. You know, like, you know, when you hear a Joshua Stanley song, you're hearing something that came from me that I really connected to. I've never played a song. I do covers and stuff for people just to, to keep people entertained and do stuff that people really love. But at the end of the day, if it's one of my songs, I sign off on it. It's something that I've personally wrote, and I think that that's just always the way I've wanted to do it. And I can see where that would be tempting to be like, so I can't really fault those people. But at the same time, for me personally, I think I've always ran along the lines of, like, at the end of the day, I got to live with myself, and I got to be, like, okay with who I am. And so that's always been more important to me than because either way, whether I'm making my living doing it or I'm, making tons, making nothing, and sitting at home in the room, like, the music's going to be the same for me. And I know that you get signed to a record deal, that could change. People are going to have input, but I'm hoping that I'll always have. I hope that I'm a good enough writer that they have no reason to ever take that from me.
Well, if you don't stand true to yourself, what do you have? Yeah,
I think that that's the most important thing with anything. I mean, life's just too short to live somebody else's life and to just be a puppet. I don't have anything wrong with that. If that's what, like, makes you happy. Like, I see, like, the people that are on American Idol and those shows, and they're great singers. A lot of them aren't writers or artists. So I just think it's different. If you're just a performer and you're just a talented singer, and you just don't, that isn't your thing. Like, you're not an artist in the respect of as a writer. It works for you a little bit better. So I think there's room for both. But I think as a writer and as a person who's like, I love creating, I think it's just a little bit different for me. It would be a lot harder for me to go forward in that path than it would be for someone who just really likes to sing and perform.
Do you have a job outside of your music?
Yeah, actually, I work for a university here in town, and I've been doing that for 10 years. It's been really good to me. So, yeah, I do have a normal job. I haven't made the leap yet to just, like, going to play every day. I'd love to do that. It's just one of those things where it's like, right now my job funds my music addiction. So, once that sheet's kind of flipped, I'll feel like I can give that up and walk away. But right now it works out pretty well.
Yeah, you'd probably go nuts if you weren't doing something else anyways while things are kind of flowing in between. What?
Yeah, it's funny, the tension right now. For me, like, this vacation was so needed, but it was like all of a sudden I just got, like, booked up, and, like, my whole summer's pretty much, I got something going on all the time, and I wasn't really used to that. I'd just been writing and in the studio and playing a couple one-off shows here and there, and going to Nashville to write and kind of just working in that network. And I think I wasn't ready for this necessarily just yet, but busy is good. It's just I've seen it's like having 2 full-time jobs now, and it's like a little bit more stressful than I thought it would be, but I'm not complaining. I love it, but it's just I can see where people need to be, like, just commit to one or the other, and I'm starting to feel that pressure a little bit. So I want to see kind of how the rest of this year goes, and then maybe have a new decision next year what I want to do. Maybe I'll just do the music thing next year and commit to that.
Well, we have to break stride with the music for a minute. I have the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Is what do you drive?
Okay. What do I drive?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I actually have a Hyundai Sonata, and it's a funny story.
I hope so.
I had...
Because Randy wants to kill you already because you haven't got a Ford pickup.
No, Randy, I totally sympathize with you. I feel like I stole my soul. So my first car. No, I know where he's going with this, and I'm always a big firm believer in being honest. But I could have said I had a big jacked up truck or something, but I don't. I actually started when I was 14. I got my first job, and I was working on my buddy's parents' farm down in Branson, Missouri. And I worked my butt off, and I bought this 1976 Ford F100, and I completely refurbished it with my dad, and that was like our project. And so when I turned 16, my first vehicle was a Ford truck, and then after that I had a Mustang, and so I've always drove American vehicles, and I actually had the truck and the Mustang for a long time, and then I sold my Mustang and I got a Dodge Ram. And I was driving that for a while.
What?
Yeah.
You'd almost redeemed yourself, and now you just tripped and fell.
I feel your pain.
I have a huge jacked up Dodge Ram, but I was driving to Nashville probably 2 or 3 times a month, and my gas was costing me probably anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a month, and it just wasn't really feasible anymore.
I know, and we all have to make sacrifices.
So I bought the most fuel-efficient car I could find, and it's not bad, but yeah, I do feel like, I'm like, man, I can't wait till this grind is over. I can just get a truck again.
Nothing like knocking the manliness right out of yourself.
Yeah, it's been good to me, but it's one of those things I'm not proud of. And I work in construction, so all the guys I work with, I get when I traded my truck in for that car, I think probably 2 months I heard about it.
I can't imagine why. That's all right.
Yeah,
you redeemed yourself. You redeemed yourself enough. You had a muskrat and you had to pick up, so we'll let her slide at that point.
Yeah, my parents were like everybody in my family were Ford people like my entire life, and my brother started buying Dodge trucks, and so I really liked his, and so that's why I ended up getting that one. But yeah, if I could go back and have my '76 Ford back, I'd take it in a second.
Well, okay. I have a '96 250 with the extended cab.
Oh yeah,
and it's
got the
460 in it. Oh yeah, she'll go. But I blew it up because whoever had it before changed the oil regular and did all that stuff.
Blame someone else. Why don't
Shut up. And the oil pump plugged up and it blew up. So I got it in the garage. My dad got under the hood and he tore it all apart. And we put in 2 new pistons and 2 new rods. And there was a chunk missing out of the side of the block just below one of the cylinders, but it wasn't enough to affect the compression. So we put it back in there, and it runs better than ever. But in the meantime, while that was down, I had to have something else to use for work. So I bought a Dodge. What the hell was it? It was just a regular 150 size Dodge. I can't remember. I think it was a Ram. But either way, it was the worst friggin' thing I'd ever had. I mean, everything inside squeaked and made noise. The doors didn't close tight. It was just rattled. The steering was all messed up, but it got me through. But that's about all it counted for as far as I'm concerned. So I'm so glad I got my Ford back.
Dodge, but I mean, Ford, I don't know. I've always liked Ford, but the Dodge, when I bought that Dodge, it was just a little bit more affordable at the time, and the one I bought was really nice. I didn't have any issues, but it only had 5,000 miles on it or something, so it was brand new. So I didn't have any issues with it, but I've heard some stories, and I was really nervous because I think they have some issues with some rusting above the wheel wells in certain years. I didn't want that to happen, but I took the chance on it. I only had it for 6 or 7 months, so it wasn't a long-term thing for me. I learned pretty quickly that I couldn't afford the gas going from Missouri to Nashville. So.
No, I hear you. Well, getting back to the music, another question is, what do you think about Facebook Live? A lot of the indie artists, the country singers especially, are doing Facebook Live pretty regular. What do you think of that?
I do it every Sunday. I haven't the past week because I was out of town, and I was like, man, I took this vacation and just wanted to get away from it for a week. But I think it's really cool. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out how to do it. I'm sure there's some kind of art to it, but I really enjoy it. It gives me an outlet every Sunday to get on there and kind of hang out with my fans a little bit, answer questions, play songs for them, and kind of let them know what's going on in my world a little bit. I do enjoy it.
Which one of your Facebook pages can people go to?
Yes, the ongoing battle of the pages. So everybody wants to be friends on your personal page. And so I find it harder to actually use my band page because everybody goes to my personal one. So right now I do it on my personal page, and then I usually share it over to my fan page. But most of the people on my fan page have friend requested me on my personal one, so my personal one really isn't very personal anymore. I kind of keep it limited on what I actually put out there. I think I get 300 or 400 friend requests a day, and it's just impossible to keep up with. Because some of them are spam accounts, and you don't want them having access to your page. And so, it's crazy. I wish there was a way to merge the two. Like, I wish Facebook would let you do that. But for right now, I have a lot more people on my personal one than I do on my fan page. So
now let me ask you this about your Facebook live videos. Do you do any cover songs, or do you do all your own original stuff?
Oh yeah, I do covers. I usually start with a cover, just to like get people kind of like, oh, I know that song, and then I'll talk for a little bit, do a little Q&A, and then I'll drop some of my originals on people, and a lot of it. The cool thing about that, it's a unique experience. People, I mean, the only songs I have out right now are those two that I have on iTunes and on my website, and then so all the I've written tons of songs, so I get to play stuff that they don't get to hear unless they either go to a show or they get on Facebook Live. So it's really neat, especially for a good majority of my the people that follow me are in different parts of the country. So it's a really cool way of just kind of having a small concert. I call it live in your living room, so it'd just be like me hanging out with my friends, playing songs for them.
So have you heard what's happening to people on Facebook that are playing cover songs?
No, I haven't.
Facebook is shutting you down. There's been a number of them already. Mike Hall, Steve Hickman. Now he's busted for 3 days from Facebook completely because he did a cover song. And is it Columbia? What's Universal? Universal is putting their foot down on all this stuff, and they've teamed up with Facebook. Yeah. And if you get caught doing one of theirs, Facebook will ban you. Now, Steve's been banned for 3 days, but he's also been banned from Messenger and everything else, so he started another account so he could at least talk to his fans for a little while.
Wow.
So, my point is watch the cover songs you do, and if they're not Universal, you're probably all right.
Yeah, I cut them out completely. Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I understand why they do that. I know that bars have to have a certain license to allow you to do covers, so they have to pay the artist.
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, and I understand that, and I can relate to that. But a lot of them, and I agree with them, have an issue with doing cover songs because where is this going to go? Now, you go to the bar and you play cover songs. Are you going to be able to stop you from doing that when you go to a bar? What about sitting in your living room playing a cover song? You're not making money.
Yeah,
You're not charging anybody to do it. There's no fees. There's nothing involved. You're just playing a song, like when you do your live Facebook chat, as if you were sitting in somebody's living room, like you said. So, why are they busting people? Well, Facebook, of course, they don't want their ass to be in trouble. So whatever the man with the money says probably is what it's all about. But, since you were mentioning that, and that's why I asked, that's why I thought I'd say, hey,
That's interesting.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up. You can find it. Look up Facebook and why they're banning people.
About it in your Facebook chat.
Yeah, I saw the link just come across my phone. Yeah, that's interesting. And thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I can see why they would do that, and I can see because Facebook has advertising on it that they could. I know that YouTube used to shut that stuff down too, but
they've recently cut one of they recently removed the sound from one of my videos. It was a long time ago that we did it. It was a Madonna song, and I bought this karaoke CD plus G. I paid for it myself, but you're not allowed to put it out there. All I did was sing along to it and put it on YouTube, and you're not allowed to put it out there. Apparently, if you buy it, it's okay for you to buy it, but it's not okay for you to put it back out there. So
and what about when you go to the bar and you do a karaoke night at the bar? I mean, is that going to be illegal eventually? I mean, where can all this go? It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I know the bars have a license though, so they're paying the artist. You have to have a special license. Bars that do karaoke and do cover bands have to pay this licensing company, I guess, that pays the record labels. So they have to pay for that. So that's covered. But yeah, it makes sense on Facebook. I just don't know how they would monitor that. I mean, you just think it would be so random. I don't know if your song does, or if your cover, or if your live session does really good, and a lot of people are viewing it. Because I know, the more views you get on things on Facebook, Facebook will start to pay you. I know I've been paid, they've given me advertising money on Facebook for a video doing really well. So I think that maybe that's it, but I don't know. That's an interesting thing for sure.
Yeah, it's something to read up on, just so at least you're on top of the game. Maybe that'll make a difference on what you play or whatever. But yeah, it's getting to be a serious problem. They're actually looking for people that are doing it. So that's, I don't think it's so much people, reporting it as much as Universal is out there looking for people. And they've also, I read a thing the other day about Universal. They've come up with a system that now every time somebody anywhere plays one of their songs that they own, they're going to know about it. And it's pretty creepy stuff, actually.
Yeah, I know with BMI, like with red lights, every time it's played on the radio, it gets tracked. I don't know how that works. It's mainly for like songwriters to get credit. It's not for money, but it's for credit. Showing that your song's been played on the radio or whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Universal's taking it a little bit further than that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard anything about that, but that doesn't mean anything. That's really that's interesting. You would think the first thing they would do is go bust YouTube, because I think everybody, like a lot of people, have made their living doing that on YouTube. I don't know, but Facebook Live to me is so new. It's funny that they're doing it. They're choosing that for their thing to target. It's interesting.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't like it, and I don't blame them. There's a fine line there. Yes, I understand. You have the rights to that. You created it, but there's so many, odds and ends to it, so many strings attached. I mean, you got to, you're walking a fine line, but come on. I mean, let's not get crazy with it. Banning somebody, not to tell them, you can't do this again, don't be playing this music, blah, 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 is one thing. But just to, to pull a Nazi kind of trick and say, that's it, you're done. We're not even going to explain to you why. We're just going to knock you off. I mean, it's supposed to be a social site. Everybody's supposed to be allowed. And what I was going to say about the karaoke is, why is YouTube full of karaoke songs and people can download them and everything else if you can't use them for anything? What good are they? I mean, I can play them at home, sure, but what if I want to play them at a party or something? I mean, it's just going to go crazy.
It's gotten that way. I think with all the stealing of music and stuff like that, I think that they're trying to protect artists. But I think like when it comes to like a record label, they're probably just trying to make as much money as they can.
Yeah, that's about it. Well, anyways.
So what's your future plans? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, man, it goes so much faster than it used to. I think I'd like to be doing this for a living. I think that's kind of what.
I thought I was going to say you were going to be a porn star or something, something exciting. But no, you just want to be a musician.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
Just don't ask him what you asked Billy Lord last week.
Oh yes, would you like the Billy Lord question? I asked Billy Lord last week, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow as a woman? Because the questions were boring.
Oh my god!
And the first thing he said was, I'd go and get a Brazilian wax. I thought, oh my gosh, you're a woman for the day, and the first thing you want to do is go and get some pain. He's just not right in the head.
Yeah, I think I would be. I'd handle that a little differently. I don't know what I'd do with it.
I know what I'd be doing with it, and I'd be one rich little boy.
Little woman.
Yeah, I think you'd have a couple extra things to play with.
I don't care who plays with them as long as they're paying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be throwing. If I woke up as a man, I'd be throwing my balls up against the wall just to see if they splat and all sorts.
And why did I marry a Brit? I have no idea.
That's funny. That's an interesting question, man.
Anyways, you have your EP coming out when?
May 27th. I'm doing an EP release party at Cicero's in St. Louis, Missouri, and we're gonna release the EP and have a little party. And I got a couple of my good friends coming to play with me. So I may do a pre-release online just to get people going, but I kind of want to save it so people actually come out to the show and hang out with us.
And Cora is one of our best listeners, and she says she follows you on Instagram, so watch what you post.
That's awesome.
And let's see, you do Facebook Live when, on Sundays then?
Yeah, I do Facebook Live every Sunday at 8:30.
Okay. And where can people purchase your music?
They can go to my website at jscountry.com. Right now I have 2 songs up, and then I have Come On Over Tonight up on iTunes right now as well. And you can listen to it. You can stream it on Spotify as well.
All right, that covers it. Anything else you want to add? I got 10 questions I'd like to ask you before you go. If you have anything else to add, we'll get after them.
Well, Well, no, yeah, go ahead.
All right, question numero uno. What is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. That's a tough question. Favorite word?
They're not supposed to be easy.
Yeah, I don't.
This is why I asked the vagina question.
Maybe trying to think of a word that I use a lot.
Doesn't even have to be that. It could be a word that invokes a nice image or just makes you feel good.
Yeah, let's say smile.
What's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word, moist.
Did you just say moist?
Moist?
It's kind of, I don't know, it just makes... That's easier than the favorite one.
It can be a little disgusting at times.
Yeah, it kind of just rubs me the wrong way, I don't know.
Number 3, what turns you on?
What turns me on? Oh my gosh. Oh, like, are we...
It's the internet. You can say whatever you want.
I'm an ass guy.
What turns you off?
What turns me off? Oh, probably funky smells.
And you're an ass guy, huh?
That would kill it. Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah.
One extreme to the other. What sound do you love?
I think I just got that. What sound do I love?
I figured it'd sink in eventually.
Oh man, I love the sound, and I can kind of reflect on this now. The ocean, man. Like, I love the sound of that. It's so relaxing.
What sound do you hate?
Oh man. Probably
Noises from the arse?
like, do what?
I said noises from the arse.
No, I think I hate this, like, anything really super high pitched. Like, it kind of drives me crazy.
That would be Donna when we were singing "Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better."
I'm glad you went there with singing.
I'm not going anywhere else with it. What's your favorite curse word?
My favorite curse word? Oh my gosh. I don't know.
And again, it's the internet. It's the internet. You can say whatever you want. No FCC.
Probably shit. I don't know. Like, I don't cuss a lot, so yeah, I don't know. That's tough. We'll go with shit.
Number 8. What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Aside from music, I would have loved to have been a professional baseball player. That would be fun.
What, in particular team?
Oh, the Cardinals. I'm a diehard Cardinals fan. We're playing at Busch Stadium.
Oh, really?
In September. So yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, I got picked to play Battle of the Boots at Busch. It's the first ever country music battle of the bands. So anybody that comes out to that show gets to see the Cardinals play the Cubs, and then also gets to see my band play.
Boy, hope you get a video for that. I'd love to see that.
Totally, yeah, we'll definitely do that.
What profession would you not like to do?
Oh my gosh. That just sounds awful. A profession that I would not want to do. Probably, I don't know. There's so many terrible things. I wouldn't want to be like anything that we gotta like cut people open, like a surgeon or like a mortician or something like that. I think that would be awful.
A sex change doctor?
any kind of person that to cut somebody open, I'd probably pass out.
And number 10, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, that's an awesome question. Well, first of all, well done. But secondly, that he was proud of me that I actually used
well
all the
done, you
talent.
died.
Yeah, well done. No, just that I used all my talent and that he was proud of me. You know, I used what he gave me. It'd be cool.
That's beautiful. And that's it. That's all we have.
Oh, awesome. That word question is probably the toughest out of it.
I thought maybe when I said what profession would you not like to do, it would have been woman with a vag, but you didn't quite go there with it. Hey, it's been great, man. Can't thank you enough for hanging out with us for a little while.
Dude, thanks for having me. Anytime you guys want to talk, just let me know. And I'll definitely be checking in more often. This past couple weeks has been so crazy busy. I try to check you guys out every Friday night. So.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, probably in a year or so, we'll check back and see how you stand and what's going on. And, unless we start to see you all over television and all over YouTube and all over the internet, then we'll know we're the little people and we'll just say, hey, don't forget the little people.
Hey, and when you release your CD, pop a link to it on the Yankee and the Brit radio page, just so any of our listeners can see it and see where they can get your CD.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you guys wouldn't mind, Donna, go ahead and inbox me your address. I want to send you guys a copy of time and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no
absolutely. That'll go on the Yankee and the Brit wall of shame.
Wall of shame. I thought that's where you put all your T-shirt mess-ups.
No, that's the other wall.
I really do enjoy you guys' show, and I it's one of those things. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to play my music and spending the time to get to know me, and hopefully we can keep the relationship going over the years. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you very much for letting us play your music. It's great, and you're a great guy, man. We've had a blast, and we could go on for hours, but we don't want anybody to disappear because I get boring after a while, or I start cussing and swearing, one or the other. So thank you again, my friend. It's been a great time, and
right.
Good luck with the girlfriend, and good luck with the future. Sounds like you got it all going on.
Hey, we're trying one day at a time.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Good night.
All right, see you guys. All right, bye.
Joshua Stanley and Best Beer with the Yankee and the Brit, the RTM Radio Network.
Thinking about the best beer I've ever had. It'd have to be the first one I drank with my granddad. He told me about war. He taught me about life. He said, son, if you